In a very telling scene of the movie Donnie Darko, Donnie is in movie theater with his lady friend, and not too far away is the character Frank, who's dressed up as a rabbit. Donnie asks Frank, "Why do you wear that stupid bunny suit?" Frank replies with a question of his own, "Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?" Over the course of the past decade, I've been told by many people from many different circles the following three words: "You are human." My reply is this: what does it mean to be human? Is it to conform, strike out to be unique, to strive for meaning, or to wallow in despair? I suspect the reason that people have said these things to me is that I'm working to break free of preconceived notions concerning how I should think, act, and feel. For instance, I don't take pride in being identified as black, for I have no choice or control in the matter, and it is simply a physical trait. It's like taking pride in the fact that you have a spleen. Black power, indeed. I don't take pride in being an American because, once again, I didn't have much control over the country in which I was born. And because I understand that America is just a set of imaginary lines drawn on the ground, combined with concepts that people hold about this specific geographic location. Oftentimes, Americans are blinded by their patriotism to the point where they ignore the atrocities committed by their own country, offering up many different ideological reasons and excuses. Truth, justice, and the American way, indeed. I don't take part in religion, for I believe that religion stifles thought and change, implements servility and power games, and are mere myth that is passed from parent to child. Religions cause diversion and division where there would be none otherwise, and is used to justify a great deal of terrible deeds that one person can do to another. Oftentimes religion is pointed out as being one of the reasons that humans do good deeds for each other. But to that I say, what about the people that have no religion, that still continue to do good deeds? What about all of the money that is spent on churches of various sizes and the printing of various holy books that could be used for other things? If these people would do these good things and good deeds for their fellow man, they would have a lot more cash on hand with which to act if they didn't have to fund these religious harms. Then there are the exquisitely bad and violent portions of history that have religion to blame. The burning time, the Inquisition, the Crusades. In God we trust, indeed. From what I've seen in the past while studying history, humans tend to band together with those that are most like them, and tend to lash out at those that are most unlike them. If you're in the same group, you are more likely to be loved and accepted. If not, you are more likely to be shunned and attacked. Especially if you, as an outsider, have something that the other group wants, such as land. How much have we really changed in the past 1,000 years? Should we attempt to consciously change and direct human nature? Speaking, of course, on the personal, on the individual level, as opposed to the mass change of culture. In speaking to people, I find that many see humanity as something to strive for, as if it were well-defined and intrinsically good. The word humane comes to mind. I contend that humanity is not intrinsically good, but is in fact capable of anything, in both extremes. And that events that happen have no real objective definition of good or evil. So, what is it to be human? be like this other 6 billion people on the planet, then I reject the notion of humanity. There are billions of completely, totally unique minds on the planet, and I'm one of them. My ideas are my own, and no one will ever think like me, no matter how far you go back in the past or the future. The same goes for everyone else. And yet we act as if some minds are more inherently worthwhile than others, for whatever reason. Classism, racism, ageism. When in fact the problems of the world could have their answers lying dormant in one of these minds that have denied their own unique nature for the fear of standing out a little too much. My endeavor in life is to reach a state of imperturbability, a state of invincibility, to have a mind as fluid as water itself. In fact, when I look for heroes and for inspiration, I look not to humanity, but to the elements, to the oceans and to the stars, to infinity, to eternity, to light and to dark. Society is a vicious animal, and the masses are not to be mimicked. In fact, those that are most renowned in our minds are those that stepped out of line. So if what is deemed good by society is the basis upon which humanity is defined, then I hope to be considered inhuman. For change is the only natural state, and we change a little bit every day. Our bodies are constantly regenerating, our minds filling up with information that we gain on the cusp of the moment, the only time that ever actually exists. We are never the same person from one moment to the next, and 'tis illusory to think otherwise. We may try as we might to freeze a moment in time, but that simply ends up causing ourselves pain when excruciating realization washes over us, and we are shown the things that we grip tightest, the things that we cling to most desperately and pathetically, are the things that will hurt us the most upon their departure, their return to the world, as Epictetus would say. And return to the world they will. Leave us they will. There is nothing permanent about anything in this life, in this world. Not even your body fully belongs to you. A lot of people take their arms and legs for granted, only to lose them in some horrific accident or some horrific crime. Their whole world is turned upside down. You say that about anything, from material possessions to loved ones, family members, that sort of thing. None of these things are permanent, no matter how much we get used to them, no matter how much we would like them to stay with us forever and ever. So, I ask you, what is it to be human? Could it be to be alive and embrace this constant state of change?